Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com, vibesing it up in the kitchen as usual. This one takes me back to when I was a kid. My grandmother passed away. She was 104 years old, so the woman had real recipes to share with your boy. This one is a stewed pigeon peas, but we're using dried pigeon peas. Back then, it would take her a couple hours of soaking and cooking and watch now, it's all kind of long kind of process. But in today's recipe, less than 20 minutes. So students, people on the go, watch now, if you just want some nice stewed pigeon peas, I've got you covered. Less time than it takes to go to McDonald's. Trust me. It's all kind of nice food eating here on CaribbeanPot.com. Let's get cooking. Got a nice wide pan on a medium flame. Just gonna go in with about a tablespoon or so of olive oil, and I'm gonna go in with a couple cloves of garlic, one medium-sized onion, about quarter of a cup of diced celery. And now if you're in the Caribbean and you have that lovely celery we get down there, which is more the leaves than the stem, go for it, use that. That is much better. I've got here some parsley, about 3 scallions that I chopped up finely, and I've got here about 1 cup of diced bell pepper, and I've got some fresh thyme. And I'm going to turn my heat down to low because I want that to slowly cook for about 5 minutes to create that lovely base of flavor that a rich stew is supposed to have. My heat is still on low. It's been going for a couple minutes now. I'm going to go in with some fresh ground black pepper. I'm using a non-stick pan. If you're using a traditional stainless steel pan or a Dutchie, you may need a bit more of that olive oil that I started off with. And I've got here 1 Scotch bonnet pepper. It's still whole. I'm going to toss that in there at this point because that heat is going to start cooking and warming it through, and we're going to get a lot of the oils coming out of it. Do not break it, do not burst it, unless you want that fire, you want that heat, then go ahead and break it. But again, 5 minutes on that low setting, real flavor is going to be developed in there. Your kitchen should be smelling wicked at this point because of all that herbal element from that fresh thyme and the parsley, that garlic, that bell pepper. It's all kind of lovely flavors in there. 1 can of that dried pigeon peas. This time I rinsed it all out, so you want to get most of that sodium that is packed in, all that brine, everything out. We're going to go in with that there. And this is the trick to cooking this in under 20 minutes. As I said, Grandma used to cook this for a couple hours at least. Now, since that is packed with a lot of sodium, I'm just going to go in with a pinch of sea salt. Later on, you can add a bit more salt if you want. We're going to crank up the heat to about a medium-high now because we want to bring this up to a boil. And we need to add some liquid because, after all, this is a stew. Now, here's the thing. If you really want to stretch this or you want to give it some more body, you can go in with 1 sweet potato diced. Pumpkin in there would do good. Even a typical normal everyday potato would be great in there. I'm going to go in with a couple drops of this Worcestershire sauce in there. I've got here 1 medium tomato that I diced up. To bring everything together, some coconut milk. And I'm also going to add some water in there. And the whole idea now is to bring that up to a bubble. It's come up to a boil now, so all I'll do is give that a stir. Remember, we said we don't want to break that Scotch bonnet pepper unless we want that heat. If you want, you can grate in a little bit of ginger in there to give it that nice sort of gingery mellowness. Turn that heat down to sort of a simmer and let that go for about 15 minutes. Taste it for salt near the end. And you're good to go. A wicked stewed dried pigeon peas, boy. Remember to taste it for salt. If you find that your gravy on the bottom here is a bit too thin, this will sort of thicken up once it starts cooling. But if you find it's a bit too thin, All you need to do is using the back of your spoon here, crush some of these peas, and it will help thicken that up. I'm just going to turn my stove off. However, if you're using pumpkin in there, as I said, if you're using, you can even use some carrots in there. If you're using sweet potato, it will help thicken up that gravy for you. Remember to fish that bad boy out. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com, stewed peas, dried pigeon peas. We use the canned stuff, but we cut the cooking time tremendously. Remember to click subscribe if you have not done so. Give the video the thumbs up and check out CaribbeanPot.com. Have a good one, guys.